What's up everybody, back with Delhi here again. I know this is a little bit different from the type of video I've been making recently, but the purpose of my channel is just to enlighten people on things that they either know and take advantage of, or for some people it's all fresh information that they see but never took into consideration. This video I wanted to make for a while now, but I just kept telling myself this is not directly my style of what I want, of what I enjoy doing, and I keep telling myself nah. But I was listening to Light FM radio. Shout out to all the DJs and the hosts of Light FM radio. I'll put a link below. The morning shows are very interesting, and they made a statement that touched based on the topic for today of what happened when minimum wage goes up. And that's when I decided, you know what, I'm gonna make that my video for this week, even though it's not what I had planned. But people have been debating if it was a good thing or whatever the case is. And for me, yes, it's a good thing to raise people pay, because it means now that they have more money coming into their pocket. What I don't agree with is when the government is doing the illusion of look at this hand and they're taking out of your pocket with the other hand. What do I mean by that? I'm gonna draw it on the board, or draw like a little sketch on the board that kind of make it easier for you to understand exactly the point that I'm trying to bring about. So I'm gonna put the first line, which will be the cost of living. And this hand, don't laugh at my hand, I can't draw that well. This hand is the middle class or the working class that's trying to reach the ability to live, or the ability to afford stuff based on the country's standard of living or cost of living. And up here, we're gonna call that the upper class or the business class. Now, the one we gotta pay most attention to is the poor class or the non-working class, and that'll be these guys. So what happened when the government raised the minimum wage in their country? What happened is, I'm going to use it in inches, that way it's easier to understand based on what's going on here. When the middle class get the raise of pay, let's say they get raised 1 inch. When the standard of living raised 1 inch, they're now more capable of reaching the cost of living, standard of living, to be a little bit more happier in life, and so on and so forth. And that's a good thing for the working class. Everybody go yay! But then what the government usually do, or the business class, the upper class, they then raises everything and the cost of living an inch to compensate for the rise in pay. So what happens here now is, being that this is the new standard of living or cost of living, middle class is usually in the same place that they were before the rate of pay. But what also happened is, when this happened, and the business owners or the government, they seize this opportunity now. Instead of just raising it 1 inch, they may even raise it 1.5 inches at that time frame, and then blame it on the minimum wage that they had to raise the cost of living. But by raising it 1.5 inches rather than the inch that the minimum wage was raised, now they're now in a better position to make more money than before the minimum wage. But what happened to the poor class? Now, the poor class is a group of people who, you know, they doesn't work, and for whatever reason, and it's not, a lot of people love to say, oh, they're poor because they're lazy. Not all the time it's like that. Sometimes mental issues, physical issues, sometimes it's just shit luck. Sometimes they're hunting and just can't find a job or anything that they can do or relate to. So this is what happened for the poor people. Before the minimum wage went up, this was their reach to try to get to be able to afford life and to afford to do stuff. And then the minimum wage went up, and then the standard of living went up, or the cost of living went up, and they're now in the same exact spot, but worse, because now they have further to reach. Now that the cost of living has went up to compensate for the minimum wage going up. So what happened to the middle class? They usually end up back in one, the same position, or two, the worse than they were before. The rich class, nothing basically changed for them unless they use the opportunity to raise the standard of living a little bit more than what the actual price of stuff was before minimum wage went up. And then the poor class, and I can't stress this enough, the poor class suffers the most. So while there's some people jump, oh yeah, those who bad talk, raising the minimum wage, blah blah blah. It's for a reason that some people criticize raising the minimum wage. For me, I'm down with the minimum wage. I like people making more money. I like people getting more money in their pocket. But it only works if the cost of living remains the same. The moment the government raises minimum wage and then raises the cost of living, it pretty much becomes pointless and ineffective to making the middle class have a better chance, a better chance at a better life, pretty much. But the poor class are the ones who feel it the most and suffer the most. And like I said, don't blame it on lazy. Sometimes it's just people having shit luck. Sometimes it's physical reason, mental reason, whatever the case is. Poor people feel it the most in the end. So, like I said, I'm down for the minimum wage raise. I'm just not down for the cost of living going up and just giving people the illusion. The government is like a magician, man. They tell you, look at this hand, I'm doing this for you, and then they're taking the rest out of the back pocket. So, again, yeah, that's Back with Deli. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about the raise in minimum wage, and then the after effect that comes when the cost of living goes up, rent goes up, everything goes up. Subscribe, and one love. I'll see you next week. Peace.